Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Nate. This is probably going to be my most important video that I'm going to post on my YouTube channel in terms of education, because I believe that position sizing, above all strategy, whatever golden crosses or edge that you have in the market, none of that matters unless you have good risk management and position sizing, because ultimately whatever you enter the trade with, how many lot sizes will determine uh, whether you're essentially gambling accounts or if you're gonna have steaks for dinner. So I want to explain to you guys why position sizing is so important. So let's get into it. So let's say you're taking like a hypothetical trade. So for me, I'll just replicate my model real quick. Here, here. Okay. So for me, I look for reversals mainly. So I'm looking for a sweep of some level. Let's say this is a 4-hour low. And then I'm looking for strong signs of reversal. So I'm actually going to use this as the change in state. Change in state of delivery, meaning the trend is now finally shifting and there's bullish momentum. And let's say I wanted to position myself long after we got this change in the state of delivery close. And I want to target back to these highs, right? And I'm entering around like 50 to 60 points from the lows. So when I'm entering this trade, price can pull back into this drawdown zone, and it can still be a valid trade. I can still be wrong in my thesis. Price can trade back into here and then continue trading back up. And where position size comes in is, let's say, where is price at? Let's go 372, 23, 372. Let's say I enter here and I have my stop at the lows, right? Take profit at the highs. And let's say I decide to enter 3 contracts on NQ. And if I was trading a 50K account, my account would be cooked after my account would be cooked before I even get to realize the full like drawdown of the trade, meaning I can get stopped out down here and my thesis can still be correct, but I end up getting fucked even if the trade goes back in my favor. So you guys want to stop setting stop losses and sizing in a way that doesn't allow you to breathe in the trade. So what that means is, for me, what I usually like to do, I actually like to trade 5 MNQ. So I would here and have a stop at the lows, targeting these highs, and this is roughly 1.5 R. And my risk and my reward would be half as much. So I'd be risking around, let's say 600. What was this? Yeah, 600 to make 900, which is pretty good in terms of risk to reward. And on a 50K account, what that means is I can lose around 3.5 of these trades. I can lose 3 trades in a row before blowing the account. If I were to size up, I'm losing the account if it goes down 30 points, 37 points. So it really doesn't make sense to over leverage, because you can still be right, but you're just fucking up in the long run. So I'm going to show you guys an example of what I mean. So let's go on the backtesting tool, and we're going to go to here. Let's go this date, 9 a.m. And what I usually do, you guys know, I like to mark out firsts Yeah, where's the 6 p.m. open? Like to visualize the ranges that we're dealing with. So 6 p.m. open, 9:30 open, and then unswept levels, so London highs. London high. And then we also have this low down here. And it looks like we already swept this low during the pre-market. So I'm going to be looking for longs going into the session. So let's see what the market gives us. It only lets us go down to the 1 minute. So on the 1 minute, we have this 1 minute gap that's being respected. It's actually a BPR, meaning we have an inversion fair value gap. Meaning we have a bullish fair value gap aligned with the bearish fair value gap. So I would like to position myself long somewhere here. So I think we can actually enter. Okay, so I fast forward a little bit going into market open. So basically we drew out the levels and we had this final little sell side down here, and we're at the very, very bottom of the range. So what am I looking for going into today is this. Looking for those longs, and in order to position myself and figure out how much I'm going to size, it's up to two things. So you can enter on the 1 minute. You can enter, where's my tool? You can enter here off the initial sweep with a tight stop loss, and you can size a little bit heavier, or you can wait until the change in the state, which is a prominent closure above a high. So this wicks high with a wider stop at a point of invalidation. So if price trades back under this, I think it's a 4-hour, this 4-hour low, then I'd be wrong, and that's like a proper stop out. But here I would only size like maybe 4 to 5 MNQ, right? Remember we have these London highs above here. I'm targeting this. This is one potential entry, which comes here. Or again, you can enter here, still targeting the same levels, only now you're going to be taking more trims at this level, at any spot where we saw prior reversals or volume interest. I would look to descale, but still have runners that are capable of reaching our ultimate targets. So again, we have, this is considered the optimal entry. So in terms of RR, it's better RR, but it's a lower win rate. So when you enter at the bottom of the range, like the very, very bottom after the sweep, you're risking getting stopped out more often. And this is a spot where you could size a little bit heavier, just because if you are entering and you manage to snipe the bottom, it gets a little bit more rewarding. It's in your favor. But I wouldn't full port down here, if that makes sense. And on the second entry, confirmation entry, you're going to be entering later, but higher win rate. You're entering off the confirmation, which is change in the state, and change in state is a closure above prominent high, and you're gonna have the main drawdown is that you're gonna have lower RR, meaning you're gonna be taking those 2-to-1 or 1-to-1 trades usually, while let's set more realistic price targets. So here, like you would be taking a 1 hour trade with light size, and you have room for your trade to breathe, come back down into the range, and then continue back to your target. Whereas here, you don't really have room. You're entering based on time, and if you get lucky, price trades away and goes to your take profit. But more often than not, due to the lower win rate, you're probably going to get stopped out maybe once or twice before the real move happens. And this kind of occurs every single day, these two types of entries, and you guys should really figure out which one is which one applies to the day that you're trading. So I actually use both. Sometimes I size a little bit heavier at the bottom if it's a very important objective that was swept, and we have very, very clear targets and a strong bias. But more often than not, I'm going to be taking these 1 hour trades and taking the lower RR but the higher win rate. And let's go to another day actually. Get one more example. So let's go to the 11th. We're gonna go 9:30. So this example on a news day, what do we have? Data high, data low, and we're gonna zoom out. Making new all-time highs. It looks like price is expanding. So news drove us higher, and I'm gonna be leaning a little bit bullish leading into this morning. We want to see data high get swept, then start trading to data low, and then maybe continue back higher, or vice versa. I want to see data low get swept and then target data high. So we're gonna watch price play out, and we're gonna keep in mind that we have this morning range that if price rebalances and accumulates orders here, we could see a reversal. So let's keep going and set the time to 9:30. Alright, let's go. Okay, so price is trading lower. I think we're coming for data lows soon. Okay, we sweep data lows, and now we're looking for some sort of sign of reversal. Okay, so here you can enter prematurely before we ever get the change in the state. You can enter longs down here with a stop here, targeting more conservatively this, but realistically you're targeting data highs. So let's set the take profit at data highs. You can enter here just based on the fact that we swept liquidity and we have strong high probability target, which is the data highs. Or what you can do is you can wait for change in the state of delivery, which is much higher. And let's see if we get that. And any day now. Okay, right here. We got a change in the state of delivery. Targeting data highs. And you're basically going to have an equal stop loss. So it's a 1.2R trade. And let's see how it plays out. Okay, so it looks like price dies, but not really doing much grinding up. But let's see if we ultimately get stopped out or take profit. Okay, so here, this is just a poor example on this day doesn't work out. And what's important here is that we have, here's the optimal entry, and where we could potentially risk maybe, let's say we risk 1 mini, or let's say 10 MNQ, 10 MQ, 30 points of drawdown, $600, right? Oops, I don't know why I went there. Optimal entry, we're risking $600 on a 50K account. Then here, confirmation entry. Even though this gets stopped out, what's important to know is the risk. Confirmation entry, how many points am I risking? Let's say we do 3 MNQ, risking 85 points. I believe that is around around 540. That's around 510. So you're risking $510. So the risk is the same. And even though this trade worked out today, the optimal entry was the better because there wasn't much follow through towards our target. The risk is the same, and it's really a flip-flop between days. So sometimes you get very smooth delivery off the objective. Like today, we just straight up, not really much red candles, much selling off. But other days we can be at our objective and we can be up, down, up, down, up, down before we finally get that breakout. And on days like that, the optimal entry, it's gonna stop you out five times, right? It's gonna stop you out multiple times. But with the confirmation entry, once you get it, we could get follow through all the way to our target, and we're not gonna get stopped out as much as we did with the optimal entry. So hopefully this makes sense to you guys. If you have any questions, you can DM me on Discord. All my links are in the bio. And yeah, hope you guys have a good night.